Lupin finally landed atop a hill in Greenwich Park. Upon his feet touching the ground, he helped me back to my own with a sort of tenderness that reminded me of a prince. The energy of the wind whilst gliding was no more. I hope we get to see more of that glider at some point. My mind could see with clarity again, but that only bid me more confusion. The entire night had proven so ridiculous that all of it, even this moment in the park, could have very well and very acceptingly been a dream.
Emily, do you know the story behind this gem?
What is he thinking? I don't see why he would bring me here. I must stay calm. I'll arrest him as soon as he's off his guard. Oh, you will you?
What is it? A long, long time ago, a boy from a royal family was consumed with passion for a girl. She was a daughter of the nobility. They loved one another, but those around them would not allow them peace. As a prince, he knew that he would be forced to marry someone else for the sake of his country. As he knew their love would never bear fruit, he gifted her the earrings, Odile's tears, whilst he kept Odile's eye. I believe he wished with all his heart that someday, that which was forced apart would one day be whole again.
What a tragic story.
Tragic indeed, but is it not beautiful as well? Their eternal separation inspired a passion that never wavered, never faded. You see proof of their passion in the necklace and earrings, which remain as magnificent as the day they were crafted. I value beauty above all. That is why I so desired this gem.
I nearly lost myself in his tale of love, but the necklace shimmering in his hand brought me back to reality. No matter what pretty words you used to gloss over the facts, what you did was burglary. A crime!
Come now. Aren't you merely parroting Monsieur Holmes?
Lupin carried whimsy with natural adroitness, and his smile felt more sincere when worn sly.
I love anything that is beautiful, and I despise anything that is not. That band of ruffians contacted me, thinking they could tempt me with such rubbish. How would you like a perfect blue diamond? There's not a speck of beauty to be found in their ways. My desire to cooperate with them dropped to nothing the second they sent me that arrogant letter. No, their ways don't just lack beauty. They are repugnant, shameful, so I decided to punish them. I suspect the ones who try to pass themselves off as policemen are in the custody of the real thing after being disabled by the anesthetic. My, has this night of plunder worked wonders for them. I may have used them, but they were planning to perish me and take the necklace after I stole it. Or try, at any rate. You reap what you sow.
You used us and the police to have those thieves arrested, then?
I did, but the outcome wasn't so bad for your side, now was it? Thanks to me, you arrested a band of thieves and murderers. I saved you from mortal peril, too, with grace and style.
You're still awful! You'll not convince me any different by flattering yourself.
You don't think so? I would have thought whisking a captive princess out an open window and into the sea of stars above, a full moon shining, was worthy of being considered with grace and style by anyone's judgment.
Well, I don't! You still stole the necklace, as you claimed, and we still need to give the stolen earrings back to their rightful owner.
What stolen earrings? Do you mean the ones you wear as we flirt?
What? I instinctively reached up and touched my ears. Sure enough, as he said it, something cold and solid dangled from them. I did a second inspection by looking with my hand glass. I like that she took a moment to be like, I need my mirror. What? Simply designed, silver earrings with blue gems embedded at their center were on each side. How long have they been there? This music.
Heaven only knows. Perhaps they fled Frank Sutton's nasty pocket and took refuge along such pretty airs of their own will.
Oh, enough speaking nonsense! I could only assume that he must have taken them from Mr. Sutton at the same time as he whisked me away. Boy is fast. Do you mock me? I'm insulted that you would take me as so naive.
But simply telling you the truth would be boring, surely. And from my perspective, you seem much too fun to tease.
I think unbelievable lies are much more boring. I knew the way he dictated our flow of conversation, with his flowery words and twisting of the truth, would have me sooner worked into a fury than able to capture him. I needed to restrain my anger. You claim to be different to them, but didn't you want both the necklace and earrings?
Please, do not put me in the same league as them. I give all of the creations of beauty I target an equal deep affection. What man would I be if I were to allow my eye to be captivated by one whilst pursuing another? To be so unfaithful is just cruel.
You speak of jewels like they're lovers.
That's a good analogy. I like it. You have to treat beautiful things with love and tenderness. And the earrings have someone waiting for their return to boot. I can admire the heart of the one waiting for them. Such earnest, beautiful feelings can't help but move me.
I thought of Lupin as someone who was only fond of his tools so long as they made themselves useful in pursuing his goal, but perhaps not. He's following the path he thinks is most beautiful. He has his own philosophy, which he never compromises. Lupin stood right before my eyes, but listening to him brought forth an odd sense of distance between us that was greater than it really was. He felt closer to a shadow in the darkness which could never be caught by human hands, an intangible thing meant to stay forever out of reach. Who in the world are you?
I'm not a ghost, nor am I the hero of a fairy tale. I'm but a simple man who is true to himself. I can use a bit of magic, though. I could, say, cast a spell that would bind your heart to mine. 'Twould be a spell to keep those pure eyes of yours fixed upon me, and only me. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
It sounds terrible! There's just something about the way he spoke, the way he manipulated language to create a vivid picture in my mind, that threatened to enchant me, but I struggled on. Perhaps he really can use magic. No! That's silly. He is using the word in a figurative sense. I then became aware of other sounds from far away.
Oh dear, here comes your escort. I should have known it wouldn't take him long to pursue us. I'd dearly love to stay, Emily, but alas, I'm afraid I must be
Wait! I've no intention of letting you leave with that necklace. I may not be among the best of them now, but I want to be a detective someday. And I may think of myself as kind, but I must absolutely put my foot down on this. My eyes were rawly focused on him in hopes of overwhelming him. He would back down. He must.
Would you please stop staring at me with such fire in your eyes? I cannot help but question if it's a burning passion for me that's been lighted within them.
What? You're completely mad!
I was kidding. Oh my. In all my time, I've never met a princess as gallant as you, Emily.
Lupin raised his hands up. The sign of surrender. I had won.
The loss is mine. In the face of your strength, your beauty, and those charming eyes, I have little choice but to relinquish this necklace.
Truly?
I could never lie to a lady. I shall return the necklace I stole in that room to you.
You say that, but you were lying mere moments ago.
That was only to tease you. It doesn't count.
How was I honestly meant to believe a word that came from his mouth?
I do, however, wish for something in return.
You do? Like what? I grew restless. A man like him would not waste his breath on a small request.
I will count down from 10, and you're to keep your eyes closed till I am finished.
That's it?
You want the necklace, and I can provide it. The method's as efficient as it is foolproof. Well, do we have a deal?
If I spent too long musing alternatives, he might withdraw his offer and leave me with nothing. This is to get the necklace back. Nothing more. Yeah, sure. Very well. We have a deal. Lupin's eyes flickered in surprise.
Thank you for putting your trust in me.
His sly smile transformed to one of warmth as he took a chivalrous bow.
I feel a bit awkward doing this when you're so ill at ease, if I'm honest. What could it be? Oh, I know. Is it not nerves, but frustration?
I am hardly flustered. Good lord, you're a thief!
Ah, my apologies. I only said it hoping I was right. All right, then. Calm down, my princess, and please come with me.
He led me to a bench in the park.
Do you feel more comfortable now?
I feel the same, if you must know.
That's not the most endearing response, and yet there is something very endearing about the way you say it.
Never had I been introduced to a walking contradiction like him. Gosh darn. I chose not to point it out. I had no more desire to be cooed and toyed with.
Are you ready, my princess?
I am. Do your worst, you cur.
How colorful. But, well, that's another one of your charms. Close your eyes and remember, you are not to open them till I finish counting. Ready? 10, 9, 8.
I closed my eyes as fiercely as I could. Lupin kept counting, and as he did, I could tell from his voice that he was edging closer. Not only closer, but right before my face. My body grew tense.
7, 6, 5.
A clinking sound disturbed the silence. The necklace. It had been placed around my neck with a certain consideration for me, though I was startled upon feeling it. It was colder than I expected. But I'm pleased to have it back.
4, 3, 2.
The thief might have had to come close to return the necklace, but his voice right now was too close, even taking that into account. And he still had not removed his hands from my shoulders. Any closer, and I thought our noses might touch again. I wonder if I should. Keep your eyes closed this time, girl. I told him we have a deal, and I have my pride. I need to trust him. I don't see the heart because my eyes are closed. Then a thought came to me.
1. Farewell, Emily.
Whoa! Oh, God! He really went for it! Oh, dang! It was as he said the last number that something soft pressed against my lips. Get it, Lupin! Woo! His hold on my shoulders tightened. Not tight enough to imprison me, but mild enough to remind me he was present. Huh? My breathing stopped. What is he doing? I wonder. Dang, this boy just carries sparkles with him wherever he goes. It's soft. Warm. The feeling passed. I couldn't tell if it had lasted an instant or longer. Trying to reason what that softness was, I slowly opened my eyes in hopes of gaining an answer. He's gone. Lupin was nowhere to be seen. Dang, kiss and run, boy. All that remained at the scene was me, seated on that bench, with a lovely necklace around my neck and a lingering flutter of warmth. Just what was that? I touched my lips as if doing so would bring me an answer. That softness it was like a kiss. A kiss. Kiss. Was that a kiss? What? My body was suddenly assaulted by a revelation so great that I could no longer sit still. I stood upright from the bench.
Oh no! It can't be! What a fabrication!
But a fabrication it was not. My face ignited and grew startlingly warmer as seconds passed. My heart started thumping at a rate that might as well have been a hammer trying to beat its way out of my body.
My first kiss was... God, was it taken by Lupin? I never thought it would be stolen by an infamous thief.
Dang, this is the earliest we've ever gotten a kiss in this game. That's why I gotta love them narcissists. I glued my hands to my cheeks in some fruitless attempt to drain the heat from them, mind racing, heart expanding in size when my rescuers approached. I need 10 minutes! Give me at least 10 minutes!
Emily! There you are! Miss Whiteley, are you safe?
The police must have stayed behind, for it was only the two who arrived.
Holmes! Watson! I'm perfectly safe.
Then what of Lupin?
He managed to flee. But look! I got back the earrings and necklace from him.
I removed both sets and entrusted them to him.
So you did! You're a marvel, Emily!
We should let the inspector know this.
We can, I suppose. But he really got us this time.
In his hand, Holmes clenched Odil's eye with an unpolished grip.
What do you mean?
He didn't see what happened, did he? Holmes, listen! I didn't expect that would happen. He then vanished before I knew it, and...
What are you blabbering on about? Don't tell me you haven't noticed. This necklace is an imitation.
What?
It is? Indeed. There's a relief of England on the back. That can only mean it is the false one Scotland Yard had made.
This is awful.
No! Emily, what's wrong?
How could this be? After so much work, and my first kiss stolen.
The realization... I'm fine. The realization stunned me so that I lost my strength and collapsed to the ground at once. As I did, I noticed a card fluttering to my feet.
Huh? What could this be?
Watson picked it up.
The Queen of Hearts? So he stole it just as he said he would. Excellent.
The loss is mine. In the face of your strength, your beauty, and those charming eyes, I have little choice but to relinquish this necklace. I could never lie to a lady. I shall return the necklace I stole in that room to you. Farewell, Emily. He gave me a false necklace and turned me round this way in that. He played with my mind.
What? Emily?
He's unforgivable. I will arrest him and make him apologize to me. I swear it.
I've never seen her this angry. Neither have I.
I will arrest Lupin if it's the last thing I do.
Well, let's see how that goes.
The last thing you do, huh? She really is the most gallant princess I've ever met. I thought I was paying tribute to your bravery in my own way, but perhaps I might have overdone it. I wasn't expecting her to trust me with such sincerity. Ta-ta. I'm looking forward to seeing the three of you again.
Those were his last words as he escaped into the darkness. After Lupin's departure, Holmes, Watson, and I stood in the park awaiting Pendleton's return.
My lady, I returned Odil's tears to Mr. Ernest Phelps per your request.
Thank you very much, Pendleton. Pendleton came to collect us after I asked the police to call for him. I had also asked him to return the earrings to their rightful owner before we departed.
You don't look well. What happened? Except for the fact that you were whisked away by the gentleman thief.
If you know why, don't ask me.
It looks as though you've been through an experience far worse than one of my lectures. I'll spare you having to talk about it for now. Mr. Phelps was overjoyed upon receiving his earrings back, however. He intends to keep them close to his heart however he can. He lastly mentioned that he would like for you to visit his home at your convenience so that he may thank you personally.
I wonder if the nobleman's daughter is related to Mr. Phelps. I couldn't very well trust the tragic love story I'd heard from Lupin, but that Mr. Phelps was pleased brought me relief all the same.
He said he offered his best wishes to the four of you for getting them back for him.
4, he said? Why 4? I feel like I'm forgetting something. 4 of us would include me, Holmes, Watson, and...
Oh no! Lupin, what happened to you?
That's who it was! I forgot all about him! Well, look who it is. Lupin's hair was a mess, and his clothes were filthy with dirt.
I woke up in the curator's office and I spilled the tea he made for me. So I decided to go through the museum to find all of you, only to be caught in a group that was very worked up about finding Lupin. I dropped my ring, tripped over on a few occasions, but at least I found you.
Ugh. It astounds me that you made it here at all, Lupin.
It's a waste that I've come after Lupin's theft. The case is already over.
Oh no, it isn't.
We'll arrest him if it's the last thing we do!
What? Why are you both so angry?
Don't pay them any mind. They were both fooled by Lupin.
Both of them? I didn't know Lupin possessed such cunning. I feel terrible for not being with you to help.
You needn't feel any guilt, Lupin.
Absolutely! This isn't your fault. This is all Lupin's fault!
If you insist.
Man, that, Clark Lupin disguise is so good. The discussion moved along to how we were all going to get home, and it was decided that I would say my goodbyes to them and return on the carriage with my butler.
Are you certain you'll be able to make your own way home, Lupin?
Very. I live quite close to here.
That's good. See you tomorrow, then. Take care not to drop your ring or trip anymore on your way home. Good night.
Good night. I'll see you at school. Watson and Holmes set off together, walking side by side. Lupin and I were left. I'm sorry we've caused you so much grief, Lupin. We did nothing but drag you this way and that wherever it displeased you to go.
It happens to me often, so I'm rather used to it. Yet the invitation to join held no value for you. I ruined your investigation upon every step.
But it was your fall that led us to the note. You were of untold value, in my opinion.
Then the headache was worthwhile, in some odd sense.
And you always make certain to pick up that ring no matter how many times you drop it, don't you? You never give up on what is dear to you, and I find that to be just lovely.
Thank you. Very sincerely, thank you. Everyone else thinks of me as a worthless man for dropping it so often.
Aw, that smile.
You're the first to ever pay me a kind word about it. You are truly kind.
Lupin smiled bashfully. It feels like I've seen this smile before.
Well, I should be off now. Farewell, Miss Whiteley. Farewell, Emily.
Yes! Until tomorrow, then. Lupin walked past the carriage, securing his ring tightly on his finger with his other hand.
Are you troubled by something, my lady?
Nothing at all. Let's go home.
Very well.
Nah, they don't even look anything alike. Their names are not even, like, close to being related. Nah, can't be.
It's quite a breathtaking necklace, no matter how many times you set eyes on it.
I went to return the false necklace to the police, but they bitterly proclaimed that they never wanted to see it again. I couldn't very well leave it without a home, so I chose to take it with me. I wonder if I'll be able to become a woman worthy of something this beautiful. One just like Mother. I placed my hand on her pendant.
Could this be the start of you taking an interest in jewelry, my lady?
If you don't mind my asking, Pendleton, were you carrying something heavy elsewhere before you came to escort me home?
What makes you ask?
You're wearing different gloves to the ones you usually do, and the left shoulder of your jacket is wrinkled. You also have white powder at the tips of your boots. Did you carry something heavy in the house?
You're blossoming into a fine detective, my lady. You see, we mistakenly ordered too much flour, so more was delivered to the mansion than expected. I helped to carry it inside and dirtied my gloves in the process. The ones I'm wearing now are a spare I keep on my person should they be needed.
I see. It must be difficult to wash flour out of fabric. But the more flour we have, the more sweets we can make. Have you any thoughts?
Fear not, my lady. I will be carefully managing your diet as I always do, regardless of the ingredients we have.
As always. Ah, but I should have known. I was crestfallen by the response, a feeling which childishly lingered as I returned to my room.
Her wit is to be commended. That was very observant. As it was my mistake, also. I should have removed the lime from the Queen's house before my return. It might be time to give the rifle a better hiding place. The carriage won't do for much longer.
Yeah. About that, though. What shall I do before bed? Well, as entertaining as reading Pride and Prejudice is, I've been told diary is the way to go when you're in love. A bit of writing should be a nice way to end the evening. Will you write about the kiss? I opened the diary and turned to a new page. The day sought to be an outrageous one, and I can only write that it succeeded on every conceivable level. Of note would be my participation in the case of the Queen's house, which involved the museum being targeted by a gentleman thief who was called Jean Lupin.
Excusez-moi, mademoiselle, messieurs. It is I, Jean Lupin. Yes, the gentleman thief himself. And I have taken the necklace you call Odile's eye.
It is a pity that none of us were able to stop him from carrying out his theft.
Are you all right, my princess? The moon is most enchanting tonight. We would do well to bask in its romantic glow whilst we still can. Well, will you humble me?
And what else? The man toyed with me relentlessly. The embarrassment fills me with such a violent energy that it's all I can do not to break my pen. And he had the nerve to call himself a gentleman? He's going to pay for what he did. Oh, you didn't mention the kiss. Emily. I feel exhausted. Perhaps it's best I go straight to bed. I stood from my chair and moved to my bed. I then heard a knocking at the door. Come in.
Forgive my intrusion, my lady.
Pendleton entered my room, and judging by the time, I could safely assume the reason for his visit. Have you met with any of the people in that photograph? I pressed him on the very same photograph he presented to me. But Pendleton answered me as if reluctant to say more than necessary.
It's unfortunate, but we've run into a small problem.
What do you mean?
I made to visit your parents' old friend Viscount Quincy, only to learn that he was killed in an accident some years back.
In an accident? Of what nature?
A brutal one. On his way home from a business dealing at the port of London late at night, he was, whilst inebriated, struck by a carriage. He later succumbed to his injuries.
How awful. Pendleton leafed through a document with a furrowed brow, expression stern as could be.
That being said, many mysteries are still swirling about this accident to this day.
You mean to say that it may not be an accident?
Precisely. There are no proofs to furnish my suspicion, and yet there are several points which leave me concerned.
Like what?
The place where his death occurred was far from his home. I cannot fathom why he would be where he was. Certain peculiarities in the testimonies of the carriage's owner and driver give me pause as well.
I should like to learn more. Could you jot down your findings and present them to me later?
Yes, my lady.
The first route falls short. Perhaps one of the others in the photograph will know something about my parents. And when interviewing them, see if they found anything was amiss regarding the Viscount's passing.
Of course, my lady. I'll get right to work contacting the next person.
Alright, and that's Lupin's episode completed. To be continued.